Academic Foursquare paper slide. Annotate. Definition. Add notes giving explanation or comment. Sentence. In English class, we are expected to annotate the article to find key details. Brainstorm. Underline and bracket and define asterisk. Illustrations bracket important sentences or phrases. Asterisk questions or circle important words. Delineate. Definition. Describe or portray something precisely. Sentence. In order to submit a police report, she had to be extremely delineated to receive a trial date. Brainstorm. Detail, sketch, define, chart. Illustration with arrows to point to specific things. Credible. Definition. Capable of persuading people that something will happen or be successful. Sentence. We found credible information at the museum about our history from dinosaur bones. Brainstorm. Believable, likely, possible, reasonable. Illustration is two people talking, one saying, "Trust me, we're going to find out who did this." And one other saying, "Are you sure?" Diction. Definition. The style of enunciation in speaking or singing. Sentence. There was a need of diction and a microphone for the readings of the play. Brainstorm. Loud, pronunciate, talking, rephrase. Illustration shows a woman with a microphone in her hand. Clarify. Definition. Make a statement or situation less confused and more clear to understand. Sentence. I watched the news to clarify if there was rain in the forecast on Friday. Brainstorm. Checked, established, balanced, clear. Illustration shows a pair of glasses. On one side, it was blurry. After the fact, it was clear. Continuity. Definition. The unbroken and consistent existence or operation of something over a period of time. Sentence. While watching a movie, there happens to be a malfunction that stops the continuity of the movie. Brainstorm. Everlasting, endless, ongoing, constant. Illustration shows a river because the river is nonstop. Relevant. Definition. Appropriate to the current time or circumstances. Sentence. The teacher informed the student with his hand raised that the question or answer had to be relevant to be answered. Brainstorm. Important, relatable, understanding, compatible. Illustration shows a Venn diagram, but in the middle it shows what is mostly important. Theme. Definition. Subject of a talk, a piece of writing, a person's thoughts, or exhibition, a topic. Sentence. After reading, we were expected to come up with a theme of our own thoughts to the story. Brainstorm. Point, connection, thought, subject. Illustration is eyes rolling to the back of their head thinking of what they're going to write. Verify. Definition. Make sure or demonstrate that it's true, accurate, or justified. Sentence. I had to verify the correct address before I sent the important letter. Brainstorm. Confirm, justify, prove, check. The illustration shows an envelope with the name and address on it. Articulate. Definition. Having the ability to speak fluently and coherently. Sentence. When a student gets up to speak, they're expected to articulate their meaning. Brainstorm. Explain, well heard, elaborate, clear. Illustration is a person saying, "Repeat after me," personification. Evidence. Definition. Available body of facts or information indicating whether a belief or proposition is true or valid. Sentence. The police had evidence to prove the man guilty of the crime. Brainstorm. Proof, background, knowledge, witness. Illustration shows a knife in a bag and a magnifying glass. Illustrate. Non-visual. Definition. Provide a book, newspaper, etc. with pictures. Sentence. To enter the book fair, there have to be requirements of your own illustration from your book. Brainstorm. Write, decorate, represent, exhibit. Illustration shows someone drawn in the book. Paraphrase. Definition. We word of something written or spoken by someone else. Sentence. The quote was too long, so she had to paraphrase it. Brainstorm. Rearrange, summarize, short, rewrite. Illustration. The defendant doesn't have to open his mouth. That's in the Constitution. The Fifth Amendment. You heard it. Basically, they're saying someone has a right to come to court, but if they feel as if they could choose to speak. Thesis. Definition. Statement or theory that is put forward as a premise to be maintained or proved. Sentence. Writing a thesis should explain that there is understanding from what the author is trying to deliver to readers. Brainstorm. Statement, argument, hypothesis, transition. Illustration, I have a cone with a question mark that says think, paraphrase, words, analyze. Summarize. Definition. Give a brief statement of the main point. Sentence. After reading the story, we have to summarize the main point of what the author was trying to deliver. Brainstorm. Simplify, own words, cut, recap. Illustration shows a book, but I'm going to write it in my own words, and it says the book is about militia. Definition. Military force that is raised from the civil population to supplement a regular army in an emergency. Sentence. The militia was informed on sticking together and supplying their needs in order to fight in the German war. Brainstorm. Army, fighting, blood, law. Illustration shows a troop and their weapon. Stanza. Definition. Group of lines forming the basic recurring. Sentence. If there was a poem to be read, it should be enlisted with 6 stanzas. Brainstorm. Group, lines, poem, rhyme. Illustration was a poem. Roses are red, violets are blue. Sugar is sweet, but not as sweet as you. L train. Definition. Elevated railway, rapid transit with tracks above. Sentence. The L train is a form of transportation used to commute from one place to another. Brainstorm. Transportation, busy, alerting, and cheap. Illustration shows the train high above on the tracks. Quran. Definition. Islamic sacred book believed to be the word of God is dictated to Muhammad by Gabriel and written down in Arabic. People of the Arabic culture are likely to refer to the Quran when they're going through hard times in their life or society. Brainstorm. Muslim book, record, Islam. Illustration is Allah's word book. Hung jury. Definition. Deadlock jury is a judicial jury that cannot upon a verdict. Sentence. The judge came to a final determination that it was going to be a hung jury since there was no answer after an hour. Brainstorm. Confused, defendant, agreement, conversation. Illustration shows the judge saying, it looks like they'll be back tomorrow to deliberate.